What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the month ahead for June for all my Pisces sun sign friends. If you were born between the dates of February 19th and March 20th, then you're a Pisces sun sign, and this video is for you. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the month ahead in June, and this reading is going to tell us about your past, present, and future energies that you're carrying with you, as well as what you should hold on to and what you should let go of for the month of June, as well as any obstacles you're going to face and lessons that you have to learn. So it's going to say a lot of good things about the month ahead that you might want to take with you as you go forward in your journey. Remember, this is a general overall reading, and it's going to apply to you in a general way. If you want a more specific reading tailored just for you, where I tap into your specific energies, then head on over to my Etsy shop. The link is in the description, and we can tap into you and answer any questions that you may have. But as it stands, this is a general reading, and I'm going to be using the Druidcraft Tarot. Beautiful tarot deck. And if you would, just give me a moment to center myself and ask the tarot cards the questions. What can Pisces sun signs expect in the month of June? Alright, that should do it. Let's cut the deck. And we're going to deal out 8 cards. Alright, what do we have here? We got a couple of major arcana, a lot of swords. No, we got a nice mixture of swords, wands, cups, everything going on here. So things look pretty interesting. Not too many external sources imparting impact onto your lives, Pisces friends. So you have a lot of control in the month of June, it seems like. So let's get into it. Let's read these cards individually and see what they have to tell us. This first card here represents the energies of last month, so that's May. And we've got the Hanged Man. I'm getting the feeling that May was kind of a stagnant month for Pisces people. Not stagnant in that you weren't doing anything, but I think the energies were kind of sitting still. Maybe you're waiting for something, is the vibe I'm getting from this. You're waiting for something to happen that may or may not have happened, but I get the feeling that you're kind of on the sidelines, feeling sort of out of it, maybe detached from the rest of the society, because you felt kind of like you something needed to change, but it never did. I get the feeling of patience from this card. Maybe a lot of you found yourself being rather patient with other people and with yourself and with your living situation, perhaps. So yeah, I'm getting the sense of just a kind of a down kind of month. Not like down in negative energy, but down as in not a lot of action happening. Just simply because you're expecting something to happen to you rather than, you know, imparting your energy on the world. So yeah, it may seem kind of slow, kind of ho-hum for you guys, possibly. Remember, this is a general overall reading, and it's going to apply to you in many different ways, so take what you will. This card here represents the present energies. The energies of right now, we've got the Six of Cups. I'm getting the feeling that a lot of you are feeling a little bit nostalgic. You're thinking about the past, and the past is kind of the predominant energy on a lot of you, is the vibe I'm getting from this card. Maybe you're thinking about childhood, or maybe it's more of recent past where you kind of are reminiscing about the way things were, and almost in a way that makes you long for those days. I'm getting like a fondness coming from this card, the energy here. A fondness for childhood, maybe remembering how good your childhood was, or at least the good aspects of your childhood. For some of you, this could mean that you were you're currently interacting with people from your past. I see that as well. So for some of you, this may mean people from your past who have kind of separated from you a little bit, have come back into your life to associate with you again. Maybe not permanently. You know, these are the type of people that are going to fade out again. But I think for some of you, maybe you're experiencing that. But I think most of you are just kind of looking back and reminiscing on the past and the way things were, which, you know, goes kind of along with this hangman energy. You know, not a lot of action going on, but a lot of pensive thinking about things. This card here, the Six of Wands, represents next month's energy, so the month of June. Give me a second here. Confidence. Yes, the word I'm getting is confidence. I think you guys are going to build your confidence up a little bit. I think, you know, that time of waiting, the time of reminiscing is going to transition into a confidence builder. You're going to take the energy that you've accumulated from, you know, not expending too much energy that you've stored up from the past month, and you're going to use that to launch into June with some confidence, and you're going to be pretty sure of yourself, and, you know, maybe other people might even take note of you and start to follow you, not to, like, literally following you around like a puppy dog, but I mean, they're going to start to see what you're doing and say, wow, that lady or that guy is just doing some great things. You know, I might want to model what I do a little bit after them, and that's a great thing. I think it's coming into your own, Pisces. You know, you guys are so loving and so caring for other people that it's infectious, and I think other people will see that, and they kind of latch on to you because of it, because you're just such a gentle soul for the most part. Such a giving person, Pisces are. Every Pisces I've ever met is a very giving person. So I know it's a generalization, but I'm just going by what I've seen. All right, this card here represents what to hold on to in the month of June, and we've got the Star. Whenever I see the Star, I think of being exposed, of being open and honest, and, you know, just no nonsense. It's just telling it like it is, not beating around the bush, just being so open that people have no choice. Even if they don't like what you're saying, they have no choice but to respect it. And I think that's what you should hold on to in the month of June. You should hold on to that desire to just express yourself in whatever way it wants to come out without worrying about the other people around you and how they're going to perceive it or how they're going to respond to it. Just be yourself totally and fully. And, you know, even though that maybe society might look down on how you express yourself, that's not something that should even register in your consciousness. I mean, you should just go. Just do you, be you, no matter what the consequences are, and let the other people deal with it rather than you taking on that energy. Because Pisces, I think that you guys take on other people's energies pretty easily, since you are such an empathic and caring bunch, and this is saying just be yourself, be your own person, and maybe not take on the energies of other people, especially if they're negative energies, so that you can remain in your own power and keep your own energy with yourself. This card here represents the biggest hurdle you're likely to see in the month of June, and we've got the Two of Swords. I see indecisiveness as being an obstacle that you may have to overcome. Since this is a general reading, this indecisiveness is going to take many different forms when it comes to all of you guys. A lot of you are going to be indecisive as far as your career. A lot of you are going to be indecisive as far as your relationships. Some of you are going to be indecisive as whether you should have salad or macaroni. It's going to be different for all of you, and I think a big hurdle, maybe as a general overall sweeping statement, is that indecisiveness is going to kind of be the norm for June. And I know this doesn't really go along with being a leader. I talked about, you know, confidence and then now indecisiveness, but I think this is what your hurdle is going to be. Is in order to step into your confidence, you're gonna have to get rid of some of this indecisiveness. So I think some good advice is to really ask yourself the tough questions, right? Ask yourself what you truly want. And if you ask yourself the tough questions like that, you're going to be able to answer them, and that indecision will vanish, will just fade away into the background. So I think it's all about asking yourself the tough questions and being willing to listen for the answer, no matter what the answer may be. This card here represents what you should let go of in the month of June. And we've got the Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords is someone who just speaks his mind and doesn't care what other people have to say about it. Now, this kind of contrasts with the Star, but not really. If you look at the Star here, she's open, she's honest, she's not going to hold back. Whereas the Prince of Swords here, he's the type of person to just dominate. Tell you why you're wrong. Tell you why he's right. Do you know what I mean? He's the type to be overbearing. He's the type to not care about what the effects of the things he says to other people. And that's not the same as the Star. Being yourself is not the same as striking out with these ego barbs. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like when I see the Prince of Swords is someone just lashing out, being critical without being constructive. Do you know what I mean? So I think this card is asking you to let go of that. Yes, be open, be honest, be completely transparent with other people, but at the same time, realize that the things you say do have an effect on people, and you don't want to unleash your negative ego energy onto others, because that's it harms both of you, basically. So definitely watch your thoughts and watch your words, and make sure that you're not hurting anybody and you're not just being overbearing in that respect. There's a nice balance that needs to be struck here, I feel like. This card here represents the people around you in the month of June. We've got the Eight of Cups. I get the feeling that the people around you are going to be a little bit over emotional, and they're going to just imagine the type of person who's got all these emotions and is just running away from them, is not willing to face them. That's the type of person who's not going to be there for you. They're not going to be available. They're dealing with their own stuff, and they're not dealing with it well. So I get the feeling that as a whole, the overall energy of the people in your life is going to be one of kind of isolation. You're going to feel isolated, a little bit alone, because these people are off dealing with their own things, and they don't really have time for you. They might even try to burden you with their negative emotions, which is not something you should take on. Remember, the Star, part of being the Star is protecting your energy from others. And if other people are trying to impart their negative energies onto you, their negative emotions onto you, you're going to really have to put up a wall and cut those people off, or find a way to block that energy from coming in, because I get the feeling that the people around you are going to be in a kind of a bad place, and they're not going to be totally there to support you. And you don't want to take on their negative energies if you can avoid it, okay? So, yeah, generally, this is not going to apply to everyone, okay? Generally, overall, the people around you are going to be, for the most part, a little bit distracted and a little bit immature in the way that they're running away from their emotions. All right, this last card, which has remained overturned, represents the biggest lesson that you are set to learn in the month of June, and we have... Boo! Uh-oh. We got my man Sir Nunos, okay? Sir Nunos is, this is a pagan deck, a Wicca pagan deck. And Sir Nunos is part of Welsh mythology. He's basically what we would call the devil in Western society. But not evil, okay? Sir Nunos forces us to look at ourselves, look at the negative aspects of ourselves. It forces us to realize our addictions, our vices. And I think dealing with vice is going to be an issue, a lesson that you as Pisces may have to learn in the month of June. What is your vice? What are you addicted to? Is it caffeine? Is it chocolate? Is it junk food? Is it another person? Is it alcohol? Is it drugs? Whatever your vice is, I think June's going to be a month for overcoming that, or at least making a step towards overcoming that. It's baby steps when it comes to our addictions. All of us are addicted to something. All of us have our own vices, and if we're going to hide from those vices, then we're not going to learn from them. We're not going to grow because of them. These vices tell us the aspects of us that we don't like about ourselves, basically. And it's a learning experience, and Sir Nunos here, he brings up those dark aspects so that we can see them. So yes, I get the feeling that Pisces, in the month of June, you're going to have to face your dark aspects a little bit, your shadow side. And I think this is a very good thing, because your shadow side is going to bring up some stuff that you don't want to deal with, but you need to deal with. And when it comes up, we have to process it. We can't repress it. We got to be the Star. You got to be open. You got to be honest with yourself. You can't repress these dark energies, because if you do, they'll eventually manifest into some physical problem. And you don't want that. You want to deal with them as they come and process them and understand what they're trying to say to you at this time. All right, so now that we've seen all the cards, let's go back and get a general overview and see what they mean all put together. So in the month of May, I get the sense that it was a kind of a downtime. It was kind of a slow time for you guys, kind of sitting back on the sidelines, waiting for something to happen. So May didn't seem like it was too eventful for the most part, and this could be a good thing as a chance to recharge, but at the same time, you didn't really make too much progress. Forward progress is the vibe I'm getting. Again, not going to apply to everyone, but for the most part, for the most of the Pisces. That's the vibe I'm getting from that. But right now you've transitioned into a period of kind of nostalgia and looking back at the past and analyzing the past and thinking about the past and experiencing the emotions of the past. And this is not a bad thing either. It's not a good thing. It's neutral. You don't want to dwell on the past too much, but if you're learning from the past, and then it's acceptable to kind of dwell on it. So as long as you're thinking about the past in a constructive way and not just doting for the days of yore, you know what I mean, then it's okay. But let's not stay in that energy too long, and it doesn't look like you will, because in the month of June I see the Six of Wands and I see you gaining a lot more confidence and coming out of the little bit of a rut that you were in. It was, I hate to call it a rut or a funk, I don't know if there's a less harsh word for that. It was just kind of a downtime, but I see you guys coming out of that in June and having more confidence and maybe even developing a following of people who are going to see what you're doing and really relate to it and possibly get behind you on that. So that's pretty cool. What to hold on to is your openness and your honesty, and this applies to other people as well as with yourself. Be totally exposed, be totally transparent, so that people can connect with you on a deep level, and so you can understand your own deep issues, right? So if you're going to be honest with everyone else, you should be honest with yourself as well, just so that you're growing. And if you don't do that, then you're not growing necessarily. The hurdle you're going to have is indecision. Are you guys going to stay in this energy because you can't make a decision? That would be a bad thing in my opinion. I think one of the challenges you're going to face is making decisions, and the best way to do this is meditation is a great way to do it. Asking yourself all sorts of questions and really trying to answer them, so that you're not just sitting there not doing anything, right? So I mean, this applies to everything, like I said, from your job to your career to your finances to your relationships to what you're going to eat for dinner. You know what I mean? Okay. What you should let go of is a runaway ego mind that's going to just say things. Okay, make sure that the things you're saying are in check, right? You don't want to hurt people by your words, because your words have so much power. Most of us don't realize exactly how much power our words have, but they do have so much power. So this card is asking you to kind of hold on to those, keep those in check. Don't hurt anyone with what you're saying. Think before you speak. That's going to be a big help for you in the month of June. The people around you are dealing with their own stuff. They're kind of being emotional. They're over emotional in the month of June. Again, for the most part, not everyone. There's going to be some people who are just solid rocks. But as a whole, the group of people that you interact with in your life, I think they're going to be kind of non-available to you because they're dealing with their own things and they're not dealing with them well. But so definitely protect your energies. If any of them try to, send negative energies from you or suck out your energies, definitely shielding is a technique that you may need to employ if you haven't done so already. And then lastly over here, the biggest lesson is going to be dealing with vice in the month of June and just trying to at least take a baby step towards eliminating at least one of the vices that you know that you have. And deep down you know what your vices are. And if you don't know what your vices are, you need to consult the star and get open and get honest, and so that you can understand what your vices are. And once you understand them, then you can defeat them, right? And without understanding them, you're just going to be a slave to them. And a slave to Sir Nunos here. So overall, that is your general reading. I hope you guys got something out of that. Remember, this is a general spread, a general reading for Pisces. If you want a more specific reading tailored just for you, then head on over to my Etsy shop. The link is in the description. I've got a bunch of different spreads we can do, including this one if you want this spread done for you in a more specific way where I tap into your energies. So head on over to there. I would appreciate it. Leave a like if you got something out of this video. Please leave a comment in the comment section below if you have anything to say about this reading, how it affected you, or if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer any of those. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. And I do these readings bi-monthly, and I sprinkle some other readings along the way, so there's plenty of videos to watch, and you want to stay up to date if you enjoyed this. Alright guys, I want to thank you again for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting! Peace.